hello, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday, where I believe mental fitness is the new physical health. So, before I bring on my special guest tonight, which is Shane Millburn, if I may, for those of you who are joining us live, I am Jeff Berger. I am a certified holistic wellness coach, and I'm really humbled to be affiliated with an amazing group of humanitarian entrepreneurs who are aligned with the only holistic mental wellness company that is actually focusing on the microbiome, which is the gut-brain-heart axis, a science that I believe is disrupting the health and wellness industry today, especially when it comes to mental wellness. You're going to be hearing a lot more about this in this series. And this is an interview series that I am doing because it's very near and dear and passionate to my heart. And that is really focusing on physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So I bring this out many times and share this, that at no time in history have we really ever been so advanced technologically, but yet so miserable psychologically. And today it's no exaggeration to describe stress, depression, anxiety, and burnout as epidemics, literally the black plague of our modern times. And how we feel is not just in our head, but it's also in our gut. And national surveys are really showing that happiness and life satisfaction levels are at really all-time lows lately, while depression, suicide, drug addiction, and use of prescription antidepressants and pain-killing opioids are at all-time highs. And there is really no physical health without mental wellness. And they are really two sides of the same coin, and they're vital for each of us to live and really to work together for us to live and have the ability to reach our peak potential in this one life that we get to live. And this is what we really are doing best. And I'm really humbled to be sharing this. So I am really humbled to be sharing and doing this series with Mupo Entertainment. And Mupo Entertainment is run by CEO, and the founder is Michelle Mupo, an actress, singer, ghostwriter, film writer, and producer. Michelle really resonates with our vision, our mission to leading the global holistic mental wellness revolution. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick little break here and go to commercial, and we'll come back and I'll bring on Steve. I'll be bringing on Shane. There we go. So I said Steve I interviewed last week. It is Shane. So Shane Millburn comes to us from Dayton, Ohio. He is a federal contractor. He's married to Amanda and is the dad of two beautiful girls. As a husband and a father, he's passionate about helping others with mental and physical wellness. TT camping and hiking are his jam. His favorite quote is, "Life's a garden. Dig it." So, welcome, Shane.
Hey, how's it going, Jeffrey?
I'm doing awesome. Having a great day. So, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to join us in this evening's interview. And before I get started with the questions, how about you share with the viewers a little bit about who Shane is?
All right. First of all, we have the same barber. I think we even got the goatee, same white color, everything. We got it going on here. But like Jeffrey said, I'm a father, husband. I have two young daughters. One is 11, one is 9. They both just had a birthday within the last 2 months. So still pretty young. I'm 44 myself. So as most of my friends' kids are graduating high school, mine are still in elementary school. There's a balance to that, right? Maybe I wasn't ready before. But, I'm pretty passionate about a lot of things, but I love hiking. I love camping. My family and I bought a travel trailer a few years ago, and we try to go 9 to 10 times a year and get out for weekends, sometimes week-long trips. So that's something as a family we have a real passion for, and we love every bit of it, and just spending time together and getting outside.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. So, diverticulitis, colon resection, those were the words that were rolling around in your head around last year. And you personally have been dealing with diverticulitis for 14 years, and you were really diagnosed at 30. And at that time, it was really the first time that you found out about it, and it actually put you in the hospital. So share, and as we are all about the microbiome, gut, brain, heart, access, health. So share with our viewers what was going through your head at that time and that experience back then.
I'll tell you, it caught me off guard because when you talk to most people and doctors and everything else, diverticulitis is something that typically hits the older generation. Most people in their 50s and 60s really start to feel the effects of that. But as I did more research, I also found out that it's hereditary. Well, my mom had issues, my dad had stomach issues, so I think a lot of it just passed down. But on top of that, I wasn't eating well, I wasn't exercising regularly, I wasn't doing the right things, and it put me down. Like I said, I started having really bad stomach pains, went to the hospital. Our doctor really had him check me out. They ran tests, didn't really have an answer for me right away because they weren't thinking diverticulitis for a 30-year-old. I finally got to the point where I couldn't move and had to rush me to the hospital. I was about 4 to 6 hours from my colon bursting at that point. So I spent 7 days in the hospital recouping from that. I went home, and I'd say about 3 years went by where I didn't have any issues, and then boom, it hit me again. And I was on that same 3-year cycle for the last 14 years, really. I'd say 13 years now, because I haven't had any incidents in quite a while. But up until that point, it was every 2-3 years, and I was in the hospital for a week at a time. So it just so really taxing on my body, you know?
Yeah, and they could never kind of diagnose why was it every couple of years that you were flaring up and then going back into the hospital. So it just
this last time it happened, they were actually going to remove a section of my colon, the section that keeps having the issue, and I was scheduled for it because last December, a year ago in December, I was in the hospital for a week again for it, and they were like, let's just get rid of that section. So I'm like, if that's what's going to take to not do this again, I'm all for it. So at that point, I was pretty much given up and just ready to go. Well, COVID hit, and they had to push all the schedules back, which at the time I was really irritated about, but it ended up being a blessing. It really did.
Oh, awesome. Yep. So, you went through that 14 years of going through in and out of the hospital, dealing with the ramifications from diverticulitis and what it does to you physically and mentally. But then a friend of yours actually introduced you to take a survey, and you were actually going through some struggles with depression and struggling with what we call self. So share a little bit about that journey.
All right. Well, a lot of it had to do with the diverticulitis, because along with the diverticulitis, I had back issues, and my doctor said they could be intertwined in some ways, but I have a couple herniated discs and things too. So as soon as I got home from the hospital from that last bout of diverticulitis, my back went out. So I spent a week in the hospital, and then I spent a week where I couldn't move. I actually walked with a cane every few months for a couple of years as well, just for my back problems. So that's pretty significant too. I'd say about every 3 months, I literally had to walk with a cane for 2-3 months at a time, or weeks at a time. But that friend of mine posted something about that. Like I said, I was feeling down, depressed about all of this, just the weight of all of my body just failing on me. I felt too young to be this beat down. So when I saw that survey, I was like, I know I'm bad, but I can't be that bad. Let's just see where I'm at. So I took this survey, and out of 10 points, I was a 3. And it floored me. I was like, wow, I knew I was in a pretty rough shape, but I was honest, and I was like, okay, I need some help. I need to do something to make some changes.
Yeah, no. When I took that test, I was at a 2. That the assessment, I was at a 2, and I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. So you scored a 3, and obviously there's a lot of stuff going on there, and your friend introduced you to a platform that's holistic. And share with us about how you got started.
All
And
right. Well, when I took the assessment, this made me look into the products a little bit because she'd obviously been posting about it for months, maybe a year or even, and I'd been kind of paying attention. But one of the products they talked about was the fundamentals and the menobiotics and that whole gut thing. And I'm like, well, I have a whole lot of problems in my gut,
right.
and this is a gut thing. Maybe I should try it. I'm like, what's it going to hurt? Obviously, I've got to have surgery here in a couple months. Let's just see if it makes me feel better until that time frame. So I went ahead and I signed up with the fundamentals, and I noticed a difference in my stomach pain, my bowel movements, and just overall comfort within the first 2 weeks. Just for me, it blew me away. Because I was, like I said, I was very uncomfortable up until that point, and even when it didn't put me down, it was always there. Like I could tell something wasn't right. And within the first couple of weeks, I was feeling fantastic, and it kept getting better and better and better to the point where 6-7 months came along, and I called my doctor and I went in and had a conversation with them, and they told me that I didn't need the surgery right now, that they felt that whatever I was doing was working. If I have any issues, get back with them. Well, I've since checked back with them again, and they said that they can't believe that I don't need the surgery at this point. And I'm just doing the things right. And along with the fundamentals, I don't want to say that it saved everything, but what it did do for me, it got my mind right, it got my gut right, and I started paying attention to how I was eating, the types of food I was eating, where it comes from, what I'm putting in my body a whole lot more. And I really wasn't paying attention to that like I should have before that.
And that's great, a great share, because that is what I'm finding in my coaching with the people that I'm working with is the same thing, that they're not focusing on their eating because life is too rushed. I mean, and they don't have time to cook. They don't have time to do this. So they're out eating fast foods. They're out at restaurants, which are, horrible in many, many respects. And I did the same thing. I know exactly what you're going through, because when I was in high tech, it was always, I'm too tired to go cook at dinner at home, because I wouldn't get home till 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then get back up at 5 and go back to work the next day. So this whole program is really educating and teaching people about not only, the gut health, but it's basically sharing, information about the right supplement line, in regards to gut and gut repair, because that's what we're doing, is we're repairing our gut. And unfortunately, we have to do supplementation because our earth, our land here, especially in the United States, is so depleted of its own nutrients. The earth has its own microbiome. It's been destroyed by, the Roundup and all the pesticides. So on top of that, it's about talking about the right foods to eat, the exercising, and the stress management. Stress management is massive because so many people are stressed out today, and it's a huge disruptor. So we're gonna continue. I want to take a quick MUPO break. We'll come back and kind of find out some more stuff that's going on with Shane here. So we'll be right back. All right, we are back with Shane Millburn, and we're talking about his the repair that has been happening over the last year in regards to his diverticulitis and colon resection. So, Shane, you didn't have to get this surgery this past year because the doctor said you're doing whatever you're doing is good. So, but we talked about the stress and the anxiety that you were, and the self-image. Share with the viewers about that journey. And I just want to say a quick hi to Debbie, who is joining us live. So thanks for joining us, Debbie.
Nice.
And yeah, from the stress and anxiety aspect of it, because this is a connection between the gut and the brain. And this is where we're teaching people about the importance of this connection and what you need to do to make that all happen synergistically.
Well, I think this is an important topic anyways, because a lot of men don't like to talk about this. They don't like to talk about their struggles, depression issues, self-image, things like that, because I know myself, I was taught that kind of stuff was a weakness. You don't want to show, you're supposed to be a solid rock. You're not supposed to show those emotions. So that was a struggle I was having anyways. And so as I was struggling with my self-image, because here I was 43 years old, walking with a cane, needing a stomach surgery, feeling less than I should be. Like I should be more than that for my family. My kids are young. They need a healthy dad. And, it really weighed on me. And because of that, I isolated myself. I got to the point where I shut out friends. I shut out family. And I was really struggling. And by getting that microbiome right, and getting my stomach right and adding those supplements and eating right, it really changed my whole dynamic on how I see myself. My confidence level is through the roof. Now, one thing that did help me with that is, along with this, I discovered through my journey here that fitness is a thrill of mine too, and it's a passion of mine. So as I started getting better and feeling better, I've lost 40 pounds along the way in this last year as well. And it's just amazing. It's awesome. The self-image from that. I haven't been able to go to the beach and wear without a swim shirt for 10 years comfortably. And I'm rocking it this year. I walked out there, threw that shirt off like, here I am. It's amazing. It's important to have that confidence. And I think more men need to be able to talk about it. And that's really what my focus is. And I try really hard now to show men that they can't be afraid to share their emotions. It's a real thing. We all struggle. We all have the same issues. Why not talk about it?
Exactly. And that's why I say mental fitness is the new physical health. We got to be up here mentally fit. And that's part of it, because as you said, we're told to basically build a bridge, get over it, and man up. And, men don't cry. Well, men have hormones, men have feelings, men cry, and it's okay.
Right.
And we need to destigmatize that whole scenario with regards to men. I will say, during my journey, there are more and more men coming out and talking about that, which is great. And
that is great.
It's about bringing awareness, and I think that I believe that the more of us that do that, there will be more men that will step up to the plate and get out of their comfort zone, because it took me a long time to get out of my comfort zone to be able to talk about this. And as we are the catalyst to those down the road, that's a beautiful journey. And to be able to share that with those individuals who are struggling and are they're really looking for a way out.
Well, just like I was, right? In the same spot I was, down and out, didn't know where to go. I've tried other things. I've tried exercising before. I've tried doing things before, but none of it stuck and none of it worked. Now, a year and a half in, I can honestly say it works. If you stick with it and you follow the plan and you do what's good for yourself, it works. It works.
That's awesome. That's such a great story. And I can't wait to hear, where you're going to be in a year, or 2 years. I'm 3+ years into it. And each year is a journey. I'm on a different journey this year. And it just keeps getting better. When I left my doctor, my new doctor, because my other doctor kicked me out after I came off of 5 meds. My new doctor in January said, whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, because you're in the best health you've been in over 30 years.
Wow.
So when you hear those words from, your doctor, that's awesome. So We talk about this mental fitness, and we do have a product pack that's called Happy Mind, and it really focuses on the adaptogenics and the nootropics that are really feeding the brain and getting that communication between the gut and the brain to really happen. So what I'd like to do here is I'm going to take this quick break here and show this Happy Mind and let people see what's going on with this nootropics that we're having some unprecedented results with. So hang on, and I will be right back with this here. Oops. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. Take this off, remove it. I have to remember I'm running like two screens here and 4 windows of navigating, being the sole person behind the scenes here, turning the sound down, bringing screens up. So that's part of the challenge and the beauty of this here. So yeah, that Happy Mind pack is really blowing up in the field and getting some really great results when it comes to looking at your mood and the communication and the focus on the brain fog with the focus aspect of it, and then the energy, which is a holistic energy drink. You don't have those big high sugar rushes. And then we've got the Edge, which basically focuses on mood, motivation, and metabolism. And for those that did see it, if you go to holistichappymind.com, it'll break it down for you, and you can check it out and see what that is. And so take a look at that, holistichappymind.com, and it'll break it down. And if you decide to, for those new people out there, if you decide to evaluate it, you will get 2 free products. And one of those free products is our brand new product that we're announcing and launching on June 25th in New York City, which I'll be in. And this is a brand new category in holistic mental wellness. And it's a launch of 2 products that will be a series of 5 to 7 products that will happen over the next 5 to 7 years. It's all about hormone balancing, because 90% of our neurotransmitters are created in our gut, and neurotransmitters and hormones. And I'm talking sex hormones too, because some of those are created in our gut from the communication perspective. So check that out. All right. Now we're coming up towards the end here, and Shane, I'm going to have one more question, but share with the viewers where can people find you?
All right. Well, first, my biggest platform is probably Facebook, so you can check me out there. But I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. For those that don't know, I do a whole series of videos where I wear a mullet, and I just have a lot of fun. So, yeah, check me out on TikTok for that one. It's just Shane Millburn 78 is the handle there. So,
all right, awesome. Yeah, he's got some really fun TikToks there. And so, before we leave, if there was one thing that you could share with our viewers who might be looking for that glimmer of hope, because I know that's what I was doing about 4 or 5 years ago. Where's that hope that will change their life from a physical, mental, or an emotional perspective? What would that nugget be?
for me, is follow your gut, right? I know it sounds cliche, especially since we're talking about gut health, but when you have that feeling that you need help and you want to reach for it, don't be afraid to do it. Know that you're not alone in this. Me stepping out and owning this and knowing that it was an issue and realizing I wanted to change it was the best thing that's ever happened in my life. In my life, I can honestly say that my 44 years now, making that decision changed everything. My confidence, how I see myself, how I see the world, and my goals, and just everything. I think it's been an awakening. So I think if I could say one thing is just do it. Don't wait. Don't be scared. Just do it. Follow through. Make the changes you need to make, because you won't be sorry. And you're not alone, especially men out there. You're not alone. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because you'll be thankful. You really will. So.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Thanks for that nugget, because you are really about bringing that awareness to men, and which is really so important out there today. So again, this is my series titled Holistic Mental Fitness Wednesdays, and Shane and I hope that you found value in tonight's session. Shane just told you where you can reach out to him. I'm out on multiple platforms as well. JeffreyEberger.biz. You can email me at jeffreyeberger.biz. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. Relatively new on TikTok, so having a little bit fun with that as well. And next week, my guest is Deborah Neary. So stay tuned for her to come on next week. She's got an amazing mother-daughter story, and excited to have her on board as well. And lastly, I thank you, Steve, for sharing your story with us tonight. I'm very, very appreciative and humbled that you had the time to do that with myself and our viewers.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Lastly, I believe we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially today. And remember this: mental fitness is the new physical health. And I will see you on the inside next time. Thank you.